agencies expressed shock at the government's clarification notice on the latest Black Economic Employment scorecard. The Department of Trade and Industry issued a notice stating that broad-based empowerment and employee share ownership schemes would no longer count as much as individual share ownership on the BEE scorecard. Previously, broad-based schemes have attracted a lot of points, but now can only account for 3 out of the 25 points available. To get some clarity on the latest announcement, we're joined by Takalani Tambani. He's Acting Chief Director at the DTI's BEE unit. Thank you very much for joining us, Takalani. Why has the DTI's BEE unit decided to do away with giving emphasis to broad-based schemes like employee share ownership and community trusts?
Thank you for inviting us, and thank you for the opportunity. I think just to indicate upfront, the fact of the matter is that all what we did with the clarification was to provide guidance in terms of how BEE will be measured going forward. But it's important to take note that all the BEE deals which were done before the 1st of May, which include the ownership schemes, the employee ownership schemes, shall continue to claim points from the BEE scorecard going forward. Now, this introduction is now only meant for the new BEE deals which are going to be done going forward from the 1st of May going forward. And it's important just to take note that we are trying to find a balance between the passive investors and also the active shareholders in the business.
Understood. Now, part of the reason government needed to overhaul BEE previously was because BEE itself was perceived to have only served individuals who amounted great wealth, and then there was this move to embrace broad-based BEE. So why is there this renewed emphasis on individual ownership?
The renewed emphasis on the ownership is more precisely because of driving the Black Industrialization program, which we want to see active participation of Black entrepreneurs in the mainstream of the economy. And having said that, it's important to take note that there are other elements within the BEE scorecard, including the supply development and also the economic development, which are meant to drive the qualifying small enterprises and the micro enterprises to ensure that there is more and more Black suppliers which are participating meaningfully in the economy through the supply of goods and services. So it's a broad base because it covers a whole range of SMME development in the space to ensure that they also participate in the BEE. So we're trying to broaden the base by ensuring that Black industrialists become the key focus in ensuring that they be able to own the productive assets of the economy and be able to drive businesses.
Now, you've made it clear that this new situation applies to deals that take effect from May the 1st. But South African business often complains about mixed policy messages from government. And the claim is that the clarification notice that was issued earlier this week was a completely new measure and that the department did not discuss this with key stakeholders. How does this happen?
What actually happened is that with that clarification note, it was an emphasis of an already embedded policy pronouncement, which is already in the other codes of good practice. So we're not changing the goalpost, or we're not changing the clauses as they are. But it was an emphasis that we would like to see going forward a very equitable balance between passive and direct shareholders. And as a matter of fact, we're going to have a technical committee which will going to look into how best to structure that balance between the two. So it's an ongoing engagement which we are going to be doing as a department, including the consultation with key stakeholders in the economy. And as I indicated, the effect of that will be done once the minister has considered all the comments and the inputs, which will be done by the technical committee, which will be appointed by the minister in a short space of time.
And lastly, Takalani, in terms of the new codes of good practice, we understand that those will be staggered over time from the 1st of May. Can you just please elaborate about that?
What we meant by that is that the verification certificates which the BEE certificates which people have acquired already now, they will be able to use those certificates for the next 12 months. Meaning that the effect of the new codes which have been launched on the 1st of May will only be calculated next year, April, because the codes are always measured on a 12-month period. So you find that for now, it's meant for planning. If you want to, as a company, if you want to be able to work with SMME development, working with employing more skills in your company. That will be the plans which companies are going to be putting together. And at the end of 12 months, a scorecard will be produced which will be used to do business. So the effect of that will be 12 months later. That's what we are talking about in terms of the staggered. But obviously we have provided an opportunity wherein the empowering suppliers will be staggered for a period of 12 months. So we'll be using the old criteria for value-adding suppliers to ensure that companies can then be able to put their house in order.
Thanks very much, Takalani, for your time and the clarification. That was Takalani Tambani. He's the Acting Chief Director in the BEE unit.